Okay, today we're taking a look at this rocket launcher base station. It's a Masudaya type toy. It was sent to me for repair. The way the toy is supposed to function, well, first there's two D-cell batteries in the bottom that power it. You have a main on-off switch right here, and once you turn it on, it'll be making a clicking sound, which may be real annoying to the camera, hard for me to talk over. And you'll have a spinning antenna, rotating light effect in here. I've already cocked, there's a spring-loaded rocket launcher. It's already cocked to go off. However, I'm not going to leave this hard plastic rocket in there because if they're broken, then you're kind of out of luck. Let's put a magic marker in there so we can tell when it releases the spring. So you turn it on, you get the clicking sound, you get the rotating antenna, you have a rotating light effect here. There is a tower which sits on here that's not mechanical and not electrical. It's just a cosmetic piece. So that wasn't sent to me since that didn't need repair. So it's turned on, it's clicking, the slide's moving. Then you come over and you push the launch button. When you push the launch button and then you can release it, a countdown starts where the light will turn on at each one of these circles and it'll count down from 10 to 0 and then fire the missile, and then it should go back into stop mode where it's clicking with this light and the antenna going, waiting to be told to go again. So let's experience what we can. I haven't tried the highlighter yet. I know the system mechanically releases, but whether it'll send the highlighter into orbit or not, I don't know. Let's find out. So there's your on. I'll hit the launch button. It started the countdown at 10, 9, 8. And notice this light goes out. It's supposed to. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Launch that highlighter good, and we're back into the normal mode. So at this point, you could just turn the clicking off. You can see the spring part's up. If you were going to fire it again, you would take your rocket and push it down in there until it latches, and then it'd be ready to go again. So if you want a bit of a look inside, let's I haven't bent any of the tabs since I did the repair work, so that we could in fact take a peek inside. Just want to see how things are set up in there. Let me get back in there. And this fits a little bit tight, especially when it's in the beginning of the countdown. I should have run it and turned it off when it was about midway. It's easier to take apart then. Okay. Front's going to have to kind of stay connected because of the on-off switch, which is up in here. Maybe I'll have to hold this. So, what you have is this light is the one that moves around to give you your different numbers. And you can see this shiny piece of metal back here on this wiper. As the wiper goes around, it turns the bulb on at each number and then turns the bulb back off again. So you get the on and off part. Now this is the light that shines through these different colored gels that spin around while you're turned on but not in launch mode. And that little wiper right there, that's the switch that turns this rotating light on and off when you're in countdown mode. Of course, this big round thing is the super loud clicker. As you can see, the rotating light and the antenna part are in fact belt driven. Someone had been in here before and already made this replacement belt, so I didn't have to deal with that. They also had made a lot of mistakes in the wiring. They were shorting things out. But the main problem with the toy, besides what they had wired wrong there was a short up here in the commutator, so that shorted things out. And the motor was broken. So I had to stick in a whole new motor. I think I've got pictures. I've got the motor. It's a very funky looking motor, very different than was in any other toy that I could think of. And you're going, well, what was broken in there? Well, someone already repaired the brushes before inside. They'd resoldered the brushes back on. Apparently they'd worn out or broken. But there's a magnet, curved magnet, on both sides of here. And the one on this side over here was cracked right down the middle. And of course it won't want to stay together because the way the magnet is, it wants to push apart. I tried gluing it back inside the frame, pushed together and everything, but and the motor ran, but I could hear it clicking and dragging. And I went, you know, probably about the time this gets mailed back to its rightful owner, that magnet is going to splinter, or a piece will come off, or it'll come unglued, and then the motor won't run again. So I just had to go in there and stick a newer motor in, and I'm just keeping this one hanging around because it's such an odd looking thing. If I ever come across another one, then I might be able to make one good motor. The other one has problems, who knows. These are the wrong kind of magnets, but this is, you know, inside all these motors, there's these half-round magnets on each side. They go on each side of the commutator to make the motors run. And they're different polarities, so they mark them so they can tell which is which. And the one that was in that motor was literally cracked right down the middle, so the two parts are separating and would be dragging on the end part of the motor, and it couldn't run. Very strange. I'm not quite sure what would possibly be able to break the motor buried back in there. Perhaps it had always been cracked, and they glue them in when they make them, and the glue finally let go after many years, and then of course then it could bind up against the moving parts in there. But there you have it in all its glory, and I guess we covered most of it. There's the sophisticated part of the design is when the thing is running, but it's not in the countdown mode until you push this mechanical lever. When you push this lever, see how it shifts that over? That drive piece hits both gears. See, when we're in normal mode and it's not counting, but the light is on and it's spinning, just this one gear is being driven, and it can slip. So everything can just sit here locked up and not move. And when you engage both of them, the rear one is set not to slip. It drives. So it forces the thing to start running past there's a little cam down in there. And then once that starts, it'll continue on running on the one that can slip until it gets all the way around. It fires a release mechanism and then jams up again to stop the clock part rotating and turn the light back on. So it's kind of a limited slip gear setup, not meant to last. In fact, it's kind of a wonder that it works at all, because the more that this one just sits in that clicking mode but not counting, that's just continually slipping where that gear has been swedged, compressed, pinched, if you will, onto that brass insert you see between the two gears. This end, it's been pinched up, but not so tight that it's solid, just tight enough where it grabs a little but can slip, whereas the rear one is pinched up all the way so it doesn't slip. So when you hit this, it forces everything to overcome what had stopped it, starts the counting, comes back around, jams up, and stays on the one that can slip. Just the kind of crazy thing you would do in a toy, but not in anything that was important in real life. So there you have it.